Previously.
We just picked up this low-mileage Nissan Frontier that sustained side damage as a result of a partial rollover where the vehicle rolled on its side. After we got the truck home, first we had to inflate some deflated tires that were heavily deformed from sitting for a while in a deflated state. Same goes for the back tire. And with both tires inflated, we could finally roll the truck off the trailer. Next day, with some daylight, I could finally start assessing the damage just a bit better to get an idea what our game plan for the repairs should be. Then, with the help of a come-along and a sill hook, I was able to make the pull that ended up twisting the whole bedside back into position to where the gap between the bedside and the tailgate was back within the factory specifications. And to see what we've gained by all of that pulling and hammering, we're gonna put the tailgate back on to check on our gaps. So the gap is nice and tight, and on this side it is nice and tight as well. So that is starting to look really good. And this is basically where we left off in the last video. Even though the bedside got pulled back into its original location, it was still pretty mangled. So the next day I decided to start knocking out all of the metalwork to get the backside back into its original shape. There are areas where I can get behind some of this damaged metals and try and bang it out with a hammer, and there are other areas where I just cannot swing a hammer because there's just no room, so I have to figure out another way. In this case, I'm using a hydraulic spreader that I was able to wedge back there, and it's gonna help me push some of this metal back where it belongs. It looks and feels like it's a springtime outside, so hopefully as weather gets better, we'll be able to get a lot more work done in general. But as far as this truck goes, the inspection is coming up in 1 week, so we gotta have everything done and painted so we can make it to that inspection. So in this video, I'm gonna concentrate on getting all of the metal work done. Like, I gotta get all of this basically ready for body filler. Also, some more imperfections here. And then this door is gonna get done. And obviously this door is just too far gone. There's no way I'm gonna be wasting a bunch of time on fixing this. So this morning I ran out to a wrecking yard and picked us up a new door. And that's what I wanna start with. I'm gonna take this door off and basically put a new door on to make sure that all of our gaps look right. And if they do, I can proceed further. So to get the door off, I first have to unplug all of the wiring. And this time around, I had to remove the B-pillar cover just to get to the wiring plug. Removing a door is pretty straightforward. Generally, there's usually 4 bolts holding the door in place, so once you remove them, the door will come right off. Just like you're shutting a door. Alright, the door is on. Opens and closes freely, just the way it's supposed to. Our gaps look even. These gaps are definitely tighter than they would be on my Chevy truck because this is a Japanese car and they're a lot more precisely put together. And so, yep, gaps are nice and even on both sides. And that's what I wanted to check, because a lot of times if something is tweaked, like even if the cab is tweaked, you won't know until you actually put a good door on, and then you can really kind of see what's going on. If the door is not shutting and opening correctly, or if there's something weird going on as far as the gaps, and even just by the way the door fits up to the body or to its adjacent doors. But everything is good here. So at this point, everything looks great and we are ready to get this door cut in. And by that, I mean getting it painted on the inside. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and attack all of these damaged areas. I'll metalwork everything, basically bring all the metal back into its original location. If you look, this whole area right here, this bulge, that's actually the back side of this big dent that's in the front. And since I have a good access to the back of this panel, I'll go ahead and start working this metal out from the back. So when you're working on something like this, for example, you don't want to start hitting the center of the dent. you want to start working from the outside in. The reason being is if you're going to start attacking the center first, you're going to end up creating a lot of imperfections in the center, and by the time this dent is pushed out, you're going to create a lot more work for yourself in the end. But if you're coming in from the outside, you're slowly raising everything bit by bit from the outside in, and by the time you're done, you may end up with a pretty clean fix. So I know I still have a low spot right here and the smaller areas kind of throughout. I'm using a rubber mallet, and something like this is good to work larger areas, but then once all of the big stuff is raised back up and I only have smaller areas to work here and there, then I'll switch to a different smaller hammer. All right, so that actually turned out pretty good. It's close enough to do the body filler. Now let's move on to this area down here. I like having a fan sitting right next to me, so as I'm getting all the paint off, it gets blown out of my way, so this way I'm not inhaling it, it does not get in my eyes or none of that. And once again, since I have the access from the back, I'm gonna try to work this thing as best as I can. And guys, remember, the better you do your metal work, the quicker and easier you'll be able to finish your body filler work. Now it is the time for me to bring out my secret weapon. If you guys seen my other videos in the past, then you know what this is, but if you're new to the channel, then you probably don't. This is by far one of the best tools that I have for metal work. And this thing is absolutely amazing. It makes metal work so much easier and faster to do. Metal work that would take hours to complete in the past now only takes minutes. And it all thanks to this tool. If you guys would like to build yourself one of these, I got a video with very detailed instructions on how I built mine. I will leave a link to that video in the description down under this video. I was able to work this large dent out pretty good, and in the video you can see there's still a high spot right above it. I will be knocking it down a bit later on. With all the metal roughly back out to where it should be, now it's time to start fine-tuning everything. By that I mean we gotta start raising all of the smaller lows and knock down all of the smaller highs. As I mentioned earlier, I always try to do the metal work as best as I can. Get that panel as flat as possible, so this way I keep the thickness of the body filler to the absolute minimum. Because to be honest, I hate doing body filler work, but it is a necessary part of just about any auto body repair, so it must be done. Therefore, to make things easier on myself and also to make the process go faster, with the help of my spotter tool, I can get the metal work dialed in just about perfect. It makes body filler work go by so much smoother and quicker, and at the same time I'm not wasting too much of the body filler, because that stuff's not really all that cheap either if you are using the good stuff. Gradually continue moving toward the front of the truck. So now I'm gonna attack this long scratch that's basically an elongated dent. If you've been paying attention, then you probably saw me use 3 different orange bases that are connected to the puller of the spotter tool. I got the wide, the medium, and also a narrow base. And the difference is with wide base, I can raise larger area of metal, while the narrow base will allow me to zero in on smaller areas. This way, every time I make a pull with a small base, I only affect the area that's about 1 inch to 1.5 inches across. Getting the archway ready to get fine-tuned here. It's not going to require a whole lot of work, because I think I got it pretty good with the hammer from the backside. But there are just few minor imperfections that I want to address before the body filler is applied. Now let's go ahead and move on to the bottom of the driver's door. The battery in my microphone died, so I wasn't able to record any of the audio, but let me just go ahead and sum up what it is that I'm trying to say here. Basically, when the truck rolled onto its side, the driver's door skin flexed quite a bit. So the door ended up with some low spots, but it also ended up with some high spots that I ended up tapping down. I went ahead and tapped down all of the high spots, but let's go ahead and take a look at the low spots that we have left over. So down here on a lower part of the door, if I take my straight edge and put it up against the door, I can see there are some gaps right about there, and that's how I know that there's a low spot there. And if I drag the straight edge up and I watch for gaps, things will change. You see that gap went away, but we may have another gap up here elsewhere, like right here, so I know that there's a dent in this area. So you can use a straight edge to your advantage a lot of the times if you're having a hard time figuring out where the damage is just by running your hand across the panel. So when we worked on the bed, we did have access to the back side of the panel, so I can get back in there with a hammer and raise a lot of those low areas. With this door, we don't really have the access because I do have the door panel on, and with doors, even a lot of times after you remove the door panel, you still have somewhat hard time getting to certain areas. So I'm not gonna bother taking this door apart. Once again, I'll go ahead and take the paint off, and I'll use the spotter to get all the dents out and bring this panel back out to its original shape. So the dents down here, they're kind of larger. So for a larger flat dent, I'm gonna use my base with the widest opening. So let's see what we got. I got this area down here just about perfect, and it took me less than 10 minutes to do it. So a really thin coat of some glaze putty will take care of the rest. So this area down here is done for now. So we got a couple of larger dents in the cab corner, and then some other more of a minor imperfections. As you can see here, the dent is pretty good here and here. Let's go ahead and knock them out. As usual, since we live in Seattle, it started to rain, so under the tent we go, back to work. And the gap between the taillight and the bedside is nice and tight all the way around. Here is a little bit of bonus footage for you guys. Okay, just notice something. There's a big old dent right in the front of the bed. Actually, if you look at it from the side, you can really see it's caved in there. And we went ahead and unbolted the bed just to kind of get a peek inside. And as you can tell right there, it's pretty significant. It really comes out far. So we're trying to bend this back, but since it's such a tight spot and just there's no way we can swing a hammer to bring that back in, we're gonna use hydraulics once again. In order not to damage the cab, we did put a wooden board against the cab side to disperse the force of the hydraulic spreader. And even though the side popped back into place, we still had a protruding dent that we could not get it with a hammer, so we continued using the hydraulic spreader to push it back in. it was like somewhere right in this area, but it looks much straighter now. In the next video, I will show you the steps I'll take to fix the metal and the plastic parts of the bumper. I will also take you through the process of cutting in the door. And last but not least, I will put down some body filler and I'll show you guys what I do to make the end result look perfect.